In the first video, we saw the ship, the boat, the Endeavour hit coral. In the water, the ship hit coral and it was stuck. It couldn't be detached, removed from the coral. The ship was stuck. How did they get the ship unstuck? Here, it's not stuck anymore. From 11 p.m. one night until 10 p.m. the next night, the following night, the Endeavour was stuck. Nearly, almost 24 hours. Only 23. 23 hours from 11 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's almost 24 hours. A whole 100% of a day. Almost a day stuck on the coral. How did the crew free the ship? How did they get it unstuck? This is an anchor. An anchor, the ship's anchor. The anchor is in the seafloor. It's also stuck, like the ship is stuck on the coral. The anchor is stuck into the seafloor, into the ground below the water. The anchor is attached to the ship by a rope. And the rope can be rolled up or unrolled. Here, the rope is rolled up. Here, it's unrolled. On a ship like the Endeavour, this isn't done with hands. It's not done manually, rolling the rope up with hands. It's done with a piece of equipment. Something that rolls up, or unrolls the rope. When you roll the rope up, you make it shorter. When you unroll the rope, you make it longer. So when the ship is stuck, attached to the coral, and the anchor is stuck in the seafloor, when you try to roll up the rope attaching the ship to the anchor, you're pulling on the anchor. If the anchor detaches, is removed from the seafloor first, then the ship pulls the anchor towards it. The anchor is pulled up to the ship. But if the anchor is really well stuck, then the anchor will stay where it is, and the ship will be detached from the coral. The ship will move towards the anchor, or the rope breaks. The rope breaks in half. After 23 hours, almost a whole day of trying to pull up the anchor to free the Endeavour, it worked. At 10 p.m. the next night, the Enterprise was freed from the coral. It was detached. The ship was free, and now Cook and the crew could sail away, continue on their voyage. Here is Australia. The Endeavour was sailing up along the coast, and here is the Great Barrier Reef. The coral. The Great Barrier Reef is made up of lots of coral. This was the goal of Captain Cook. The Endeavour was meant to continue sailing up to the top of Australia and then west. It would go west to Batavia. Now, this city is called Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. Back then, it was called Batavia. That was their goal, where they wanted to get to. But with a damaged ship, with a hole in it that's filling up with water, they couldn't continue on their voyage to Jakarta. They had to stop on the Australian coast to repair the damage, the hole in the ship, to repair the damage to the ship. They sailed closer to the coast. They got closer. Near the coast, they had to look for a place to put the ship. Here is a river. A river, it's not an actual river. A river is where water flows in a direction. One direction. Either this way or the other way, the other direction. A river flows from high areas, like mountains, down to the sea, to the ocean. On the coast, where the river flows into the sea, is a good place to put a ship. The crew of the Endeavour found the mouth of a river and sailed the Endeavour into it. Here is a beach. This is the land, grass. This is the beach made of sand. And here is the water. This beach isn't steep enough. It's not steep enough. This beach is steeper. It's steeper than this beach. It's steeper. They found a steep beach and waited for high tide, for the water level to be high. Low tide, the water level is low. High tide. They waited for high tide and then sailed the ship onto the beach. They grounded it on the beach so that when the tide went down, when it got lower, the ship was completely on land. It wasn't in the water. The crew, all the people on the ship could get off onto the land, and they could look at the ship. They could look at the damage on the ship, the hole in the ship, and they could see how bad it was. They could check if it was really bad or just a little bad? Really, really bad, or just a little bad? Which was it? Would the crew be able to repair, to fix the ship and continue sailing to Batavia? Did you like this video? If you want, you can help me to make more videos. You can support me on Patreon. The link is in the description below.